Lesson 4.6, found on page 175 of your big book, is all about finding unit rates. Recall that we've already talked about unit rates. It's any number that's compared to 1. Our essential question, how can you use unit rates to make comparisons? The star fruit, or carambola, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, is the fruit of a tree that is native to Indonesia, India, and Sri Lanka. Slices of the fruit are in the shape of a 5-pointed star. Lara paid $9.60 for 16 ounces of star fruit. Find the price of 1 ounce of star fruit. So the first thing we're supposed to do is underline the sentence that tells what you are trying to find. Starts with the word find. Find the price of 1 ounce of star fruit. Circle the numbers you need to use to solve the problem. Well, $9.60 and 16 ounces are the two numbers that we need. Notice this fruit. My son tried it in Brazil. It's shaped like this when it's on the tree, but when you cut slices of it, it looks like a star. Recall that a unit rate makes a comparison to 1 unit. You can find a unit rate by dividing the numerator and the denominator by the number in the denominator. So what are we doing? We're going to divide basically by the denominator. All right, write the unit rate for the price of star fruit. Write a ratio that compares the price, which was $9.60, to the weight. Ounces is a unit of weight. So the price was $9.60. The weight was 16 ounces. So $9.60 divided by 16. Remember, this is a form of 1 because we want this denominator to become 1. So we have to use 16. Whatever the denominator is, that's the number we're going to use for our form of 1. So 16 divided by 16 is 1. $9.60. I don't know this off the top of my head. I'm going to have to do some margin work. So I'm going to come over here. $9.60 divided by 16. 16 goes into 9. It does not. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 there. 9 goes into 16. I don't know how many times. 16 goes into 96. How many times? I'm not sure. But I know I want it to end in a 6, and I have a 6 here. So I'm going to try 6 to start with, because I know that 6 times 6 is 36. So 6 times 6 is 36. Regroup the 3. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 more is 9. Okay, so that was it. Good guess. So I end up with 996 and nothing. So I'll just use that as a placeholder there. So we divide the numerator and the denominator by the number in the denominator. Denominator. Right here. To get our unit rate. Because 16 divided by 16 is 1. $9.60 divided by 16 is 60 cents. So our unit rate is 60 cents and 1 ounce. So for every ounce of star fruit, you're paying 60 cents. So the price is 60 cents per ounce. down here it says, explain why the unit rate is equivalent to the original rate. Well, what was the original rate? It was $9.60 and 16 ounces. That was our original rate. This is equivalent because if I multiply or divide by a form of 1, then it's equivalent to the original. In this case, I divided by a form of 1, so these two are equivalent. So the numerator and denominator were divided by the same number. By the same number. Just like writing equivalent fractions. Equivalent, or let's say ratios. Equivalent. There we go. Ratios. Explain a way to convince others that you found the unit rate correctly. So, the same way you would check your answer. If I multiplied which is the opposite of dividing, right? It's the inverse operation for dividing. So if I multiplied the numerator and the denominator by 16, I would get $9.60 and 16 ounces. The rate of the given problem. So if I went back and I multiplied this number by 16 over 16, it would take me right back to this again. That would prove that it's correct. All right, let's try it again on the back side of the page. During a migration, a hummingbird can fly 210 miles in 7 hours, and a goose can fly 165 miles in 3 hours. Which bird flies at a faster rate? So this is why we find a unit rate, is so we compare two things. So we want to compare the hummingbird to the goose, figure out who's faster. All right, so the hummingbird is flying at 210 miles in 7 hours. Goose is flying 165 in 3 hours. Write the unit rate. So I have to divide by the denominator. So 7 over 7. That gives us a 1 in our denominator. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 210 divided by 7 is 30. Because that's the same as 21 divided by 7, and then you just tack a 0 on the end. Okay, over here we're dividing by 3 over 3 for the goose because we want 1 in the denominator. Okay, 165 divided by 3, I can't do it as nice and tidy in my head, so I'm just going to do a little margin work. Leave it there for the teacher to see. 3 goes into 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 55. All right, so the hummingbird flies at a rate of 30 miles per hour. The goose flies at a rate of 55 miles per hour. Who's faster? Well, it's the goose. They're going much faster, almost twice as fast. Compare the unit rates. 55 miles per hour is faster than 30 miles per hour. So the goose flies at a faster rate. All right, let's take a look at the next one. A 64-ounce bottle of apple juice costs $5.76. A 15-ounce bottle of apple juice costs $1.80. Which item costs less per ounce? This is where I use unit rate on a regular basis, is when I'm in the grocery store and I'm trying to figure out where's the better deal. All right, write the rate for each bottle. So 64-ounce bottle was $5.76 per 64 ounces. 15 ounce was $1.80 for 15 ounces. So I have to divide by the denominator. So I get that 1 in the denominator. So over here I'm going to do a little margin work. Divided by 64. Let's see, 64 does not go into 5. 64 does not even go into 57. 64 goes into, I want it to end in a 6. What times 4 ends in a 6? 9 times 4 ends in 36, so let's give that one a try. 64 times 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 6 is 54. Plus 3 more is 57. Ha! That one worked out. Okay. So, this is... Oops, I didn't write all this. Here we go. We're going to backtrack just a little bit. Divided by 64, because this has to be a form of 1. It has to be the same thing on top of each other. All right. So $5.76 divided by 64 is 0. So it's 9 cents per ounce for this apple juice. If I buy the 64-ounce bottle, that's the big bottle. If I buy a smaller one, is it going to cost more or less? Well, let's find out. I have to put, so we knew that we started at 15 ounces. We divide by 15 over 15, a form of 1. So 15 divided by 15 gave us our 1. $1.80 divided by 15. Again, a little margin work. 0, it doesn't go into 1. 15 goes into 18 one time. Whoops. My brain got ahead there. 15 goes into 30 twice. So, 1 ounce, if I buy the 15-ounce bottle, 1 ounce will cost me 12 cents. So what's the better deal? 9 cents per ounce or 12 cents per ounce? Well, 9 cents per ounce is less expensive than 12 cents per ounce. So the 64-ounce bottle is a better deal. All right, try this. At one grocery store, a dozen eggs costs $1.20. At another store, 1.5 dozen eggs, or 18 eggs, cost $2.16, which is the better buy. So we have $1.20 for 12 eggs, and we have $2.16 for 18 eggs, because a dozen and a half. A dozen is 12, a dozen and a half. Half again would be 6 more, which gives us 18. Well, this I can do in my head. That's going to be 0, because 12 does not go into 1. 12 goes into 12, and I had a 0 left over. So this store is 10 cents for a dozen, or per egg. Sorry. Each egg costs 10 cents. How much does each egg cost over here? This one I cannot do in my head. Do a little margin work. 18 does not go into 2. 18 goes into 21 one time. I end up with what? 3, 6. 18 goes into 36 twice. So this one is 12 cents. So this is 10 cents for every egg. This one is 12 cents for every egg. Per egg. Well, let's do eggs here so we know what we're talking about. This is per one egg. So 10 cents per egg, 12 cents per egg. The unit price is lower at store 1. 10 cents is less than 12 cents. So a dozen eggs for $1.20 is the better buy. All right, let's take a look at our notes. Okay, find the unit rates. Notes. To convert a ratio to a unit rate, divide the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. So here's our ratio, 210 miles in 7 hours. That's how fast those hummingbirds were flying. We divide both the top and the bottom by 7. We end up with a 1, which makes it a unit rate, being compared to 1. 210 divided by 7 is 30, so they are flying at a rate of 30 miles per hour. Because we want to get a 1 in the denominator, we always divide by the denominator as our form of 1. Per also indicates a ratio.